Let's talk about something that might put some money back in your pocket, especially if you or someone you know plays Fortnite. Remember all those headlines about Epic Games, the company behind Fortnite, and some questionable purchasing practices they were using? Well, those chickens have come home to roost. The Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, has started to issue refunds totaling over $72 million to players who were essentially tricked into spending money. This isn't just about a few disgruntled gamers. It's a significant legal action that exposes some pretty concerning tactics used by Epic Games. The FTC found that Epic used what they call dark patterns to manipulate players, often younger ones, into making purchases they didn't intend to make. Think about it. Have you ever accidentally bought something in a game because the buttons were confusingly placed? Or maybe you got hit with an unexpected charge after simply waking the game from sleep mode. These are just a couple of examples of the dark patterns that the FTC is cracking down on. And it gets worse. The FTC also found that Epic actually locked some players out of their accounts after they tried to dispute charges with their credit card companies. That's right, trying to get your money back could result in losing access to your entire Fortnite account. What's particularly concerning is that these practices often targeted younger players who might not fully understand the implications of in-app purchases. It's a real breach of trust, and the FTC is taking it seriously. In fact, Epic had to pay a separate fine of $275 million for violating the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, or COPPA. This law is all about protecting children's personal information online. So what does this mean for you? Well, if you think you might have been caught up in these shady purchasing practices, you could be eligible for a refund. The FTC has a pretty straightforward process for filing a claim, and you can find all the details on their website. The deadline to submit a claim is January 10th, so don't wait. This entire case sets a major precedent for the gaming industry. It sends a clear message that companies need to be more responsible when it comes to in-game purchases, especially when children are involved. But it also raises some really interesting questions about the future of gaming. How will this impact the design of in-game stores and purchasing systems? Will we see a shift towards more ethical and transparent monetization models? These are complex issues, and I think it's crucial that we as players and parents stay informed and engaged in this conversation. The FTC's actions demonstrate that consumer protection agencies are willing to take on big companies like Epic Games. It's a win for consumers, but it's also a wake-up call for the entire industry. Let's delve a bit deeper into these dark patterns. They're not just accidental design flaws. They're carefully crafted tactics that exploit our psychology to make us spend more than we intend. One example is the use of confusing button layouts. Imagine you're trying to preview an item, but the purchase button is right next to it, almost identical in size and color. A simple misclick, especially for younger players, could lead to an unwanted purchase. Another tactic is using timers and limited time offers to create a sense of urgency and pressure players into making impulsive decisions. You know, that flash sale that's only available for the next hour. That's designed to trigger what psychologists call fear of missing out, or FOMO, leading to purchases that wouldn't have happened otherwise. And let's not forget about the use of virtual currencies. It's easy to lose track of how much real money you're spending when you're dealing with V-Bucks or other in-game currencies. These systems can make it harder for players, especially younger ones, to understand the true cost of their purchases. The FTC's actions against Epic are a clear sign that these practices are unacceptable. They're pushing for clearer pricing information, opt-in consent for purchases, and easier refund processes. Basically, they're saying that game companies need to be more transparent and give players more control over their spending. This case also highlights the importance of parental controls. Many gaming platforms offer tools that allow parents to set spending limits, restrict certain types of purchases, or require approval for any in-app transactions. These controls can be invaluable in protecting children from unwanted charges and helping them develop healthy spending habits. What's interesting to me is that this isn't just about Fortnite. It's about a wider trend in the gaming industry, where in-app purchases have become increasingly common. We've seen similar concerns raised about manipulative monetization tactics in other games and across different platforms. This suggests that we need broader industry-wide standards and guidelines to ensure ethical game design and protect consumers, especially children. This case could be a catalyst for positive change, prompting other companies to rethink their monetization strategies and prioritize player well-being over profit maximization. It's time for the gaming industry to step up and create a more ethical and transparent environment for all players. The FTC's actions against Epic Games are sending shockwaves through the gaming industry. It's a wake-up call that companies can no longer get away with using manipulative tactics to squeeze money out of players. This case has the potential to reshape the way games are designed and monetized. It could push companies to explore alternative revenue models that are less reliant on in-app purchases and more focused on delivering value and enjoyment to players. Imagine a future where games are designed with player well-being in mind, where in-game stores are transparent and easy to navigate, and where parents have the tools they need to protect their children from unwanted spending. That's the kind of future the FTC is trying to build. This case also highlights the crucial role of consumer protection agencies in the digital age. As games become more complex and interconnected, and as the lines between gaming and other forms of entertainment blur, it's essential to have strong regulations in place to safeguard players' rights and interests. But ultimately, the responsibility for creating a more ethical gaming environment rests with the game companies themselves. They need to prioritize transparency, fairness, and respect for their players. They need to move away from manipulative design practices and focus on building trust and long-term relationships with their communities. The FTC's victory against Epic Games is a significant step in the right direction. It's a win for consumers and a clear message to the gaming industry that the old ways of doing business are no longer acceptable.